Market Report. So today, the name of our chronicle is stocks to day trade that are less than $5 on the American market. So we have a bunch of them. We have here Charming Shops, CHRS on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange. We have Glue Mobile, GLUU on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange, and Hersha Hospitality, HT on the New York Stock Exchange. And let's not forget DYN, Dynergy. So, you know, as I've been telling you in the earlier chronicles, this stock here, Charming Shops, made a nice ride throughout the day. We have seen that there's been nice entry point throughout the stock during the day. The first entry point here was when the stock, oops, let me get it right for you. First entry point was when the stock here broke through an important sideways formation at this price here. So an important resistance that was broke through, an entry point here for Charming Shops. Another entry point was all this big resistance here that the stock had. So when the stock broke through this resistance at this price, another entry point for Shops. So those of you who entered here, you should already now take some profits. Because at the moment, what Charming Shops is doing is just doing a sideways formation. So if you didn't get in earlier and those two previous entry point, well then wait till the stocks makes a nice entry point to be able, of course, to make some money on that stocks into day trading. Another one which made a pretty nice ride throughout the day, it's Glue Mobile. As you can see here, Glue Mobile broke through an important resistance at this point. So here, an ideal entry point. Another entry point here when Glue Mobile broke through, again, this important resistance. So two ideal entry point on Glue Mobile. Right now, Glue Mobile is just doing a sideways formation, just like Charming Shops. And if ever it breaks that resistance here, that will be another entry point. So an entry point here on Glue Mobile at 353, another entry point at 358 on Glue Mobile, and the next entry point it's at 369 for Charming Shops. The next entry point will be 458, and the previous entry point was 445. So from 445 to, if ever it reached to 458, you'll be able, of course, to take some profits if you entered at 445. And if you entered here at 434, well then you could have already take some profits either at 445, or you could take some profits again at 459 if ever it breaks through that resistance. Another one is Hersha Hospitality, HT on the New York Stock Exchange. So yes, that stock made a nice ride, but that stock has been calmer. Has not really has not been as volatile as the other one I've been showing you on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange. So what was the entry point on that stock? Well, to get in here, it was really difficult to be able to determine. Yes, it's a sideways formation, but I'm not sure that it will be an ideal entry point. I would rather see a clarification of a nice sideways formation and then to break out. So where is the breakout? You see all this resistance? Every time it tested it, it went back down. So here was a resistance. Ever since the stock broke through that resistance, the stock went up. Right now, the stock just stayed totally flat, just like the markets are at the moment, because today was Friday, December 2nd, and the markets are just totally flat. So the stock made a nice ride ever since, and now it's totally flat, so it's just stabilizing. But it went here from, if we look at this, from 450, now it's about 451, so 1 cent. But if you play 1,000 shares, 10,000 shares, it's only 450 that stock. So of course you'll be able, of course, to make some money on that stock. Another one is Dynergy. Dynergy, we like Dynergy simply because that stock made a nice ride here ever since the stock reverted its downward trend. But let's play the stochastics to see how that stock reacted on that news. So you see the stochastics were showing what? Well, you see that was a downward trend. So when the stock inverted this downward trend, the stochastics here were all going on the upside. So it was not overbought yet. So what is overbought? Just to bring to your attention that overbought situation, and it's where, of course, investors have inflowed too much money into that stock. And when you see that the yellow line and the purple line are going down, that shows you that investors are leaving the overbought situation. So that means that at this price, investors are saying, you know what, there's been too much inflow of money into that stock and we should sell it to take some profit. So that's why you see the stochastics going down. It is the oversold situation here. So that means that the stock has been sold too much. And when you see that the yellow line and the purple line are all moving upward, that shows you that investors are saying, you know what, at this price, I think the stock is still a bargain and I can inflow more money into the market. And that's why when you see that a stock like Dynergy reverted its downward trend here, you see that the stochastics were all going over the overbought situation, but we're not there yet. So that shows you that there's still some investors who still see it as a bargain. So that shows you there's more probability that the inflow of money could just continue to go on, and people are more optimistic about that stock, and that's why you were able to make a nice ride. So if you had entered here at 309, you were able, of course, to take some profits at 325 for Dynergy. Right now, the stock Usually, you should watch when it stabilized here. It broke to this support. So if you bought it here, at and the entry point was at 309, well then you should not panic, because 309 here is still in the money. And I think the exit point, if you bought it at 309, the exit point if you bought it at 309 is if ever the stock goes lower than that support here, which is at, let me get the price right for you, at 306. So if ever the stock goes lower than 306, if you bought it at 309, well, at 306, you should already get out of that stock. But from 309 to 325, you are able, of course, to make a lot of money on that stocks. And of course, it's less than $5. So CHRS on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange, Glue on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange, HT on the New York Stock Exchange, and DYN on the New York Stock Exchange are stocks that are less than $5 and really ideal stocks to be able to day trade. So don't forget to always follow us on Facebook.com/Decision Plus. Share your thoughts, share your comments, like us, and also see us on DecisionPlus.com for another update on the market.